Welcome to Patent Pod Chat with Henry Groth of the Silicon Valley office of Maiorana PC. Henry's resume includes 12 years patent prosecution and portfolio management, 7 years patent licensing team leader, and 15 years materials and processing engineering.
Henry, when did Maiorana PC open up its office in Silicon Valley?
Steve, we opened up the office in May of this year, and we did so to better serve our clients in Silicon Valley. Our firm has many semiconductor clients located in Silicon Valley, and given our vast patent prosecution experience, superb service, and affordability, we anticipate that many more Silicon Valley clients will look at us more closely now that we've opened an office here.
Okay, so where's the Silicon Valley office located?
Well, for those who are familiar with the Silicon Valley, it's located in the Golden Triangle region of North San Jose. It's on Zanker Road near Montague Expressway. For those who aren't quite as familiar with the area, the Golden Triangle region is an area that's bounded by highways 237, 101, and Interstate 880, which are all major freeways in Silicon Valley. And the Golden Triangle includes parts of San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, and Milpitas.
So why did the firm choose that location?
We chose this location to be close to a number of large prospective clients who participate in technology markets that align with our patenting experience. But we also look for smaller clients as well. Our research shows that this particular area has a large number of these types of clients. For example, Cisco is just about a mile away from our new office. Also, according to a firm called Tech America, there are more than 460 tech companies in North San Jose where this office is. And there are many more prospective clients within a few miles of the office and multiples of that within 10 miles or so of the office. So a lot of prospects to work with.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now how long have you been in Silicon Valley?
Me personally, I've been here for almost 40 years. I came to Menlo Park in late August of 1977. And just to give you some perspective about what was going on 40 years ago in the Valley, Atari had just introduced its 2600 video game console that was based on the MOS 6502 processor, which was just groundbreaking at the time, much less expensive than the competitors from Intel and others. And also in 1977, a guy named Larry Ellison started a company called Software Development Laboratories, which is now Oracle.
Wow, that's cool. Where are you originally from, Henry?
I'm originally from a small suburban village called Ardsley. It's got a deep family history for me. My father was born there in 1930. It's about 10 miles north of Central Park in Manhattan and has fantastic schools. Unfortunately for the folks that live there, those fantastic schools come with ridiculous property taxes that are used to fund the schools. So it's a mixed blessing. One of the most famous students from the Ardsley School District is a guy named Mark Zuckerberg, who I think you may have heard of before.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar. So what was the motivation for your move out west?
Yeah, I came out west to go to graduate school. I had gone to SUNY at Stony Brook in Long Island for my undergraduate degree in engineering science, and started graduate school at Stanford when I came out here and majored in material science and engineering. The material science program gave me an opportunity to study semiconductors, superconductors, composite materials, and a host of other engineering materials that are used for a broad range of industries. Another motivation, as you might have guessed, for the move was to get out of the New York weather and enjoy Northern California's amazingly pleasant year-round weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned you got a degree, your undergraduate degree is in engineering. Did you work as an engineer before becoming an attorney?
You bet. I worked for quite a while. It's typical for patent professionals to be working in technology before they become patent professionals. I started my work when I was out here in California at United Technologies, and also worked at Lockheed Martin. At United Technologies, I worked as a quality control engineer in their chemical systems division. They make solid propellant rocket motors down there in a little part of San Jose called Coyote. And most of the work that I was working on was related to the manufacturing, assembly, and testing of those solid propellant rocket motors. On the engineering side, the bulk of my engineering career was at Lockheed Martin. where I worked in the Missiles and Space Company in Sunnyvale on microelectronics, carbon-carbon composites, hybrid electronics, circuit boards, electronics assembly, and other materials and process technologies related to missiles and space developments. I also worked as an environmental engineer at Lockheed Martin for a few years. Now moving on to the legal career prior to working with Maiorana, I worked at a bunch of companies as in-house corporate counsel. I worked for Lockheed Martin. I transitioned from engineering to the patent group at Lockheed Martin. And I also worked at a company called Quantum, which was a hard disk drive manufacturer that ended up selling off its hard disk drive division before I left. And then I also worked at Siemens Medical Systems and LSI. Had a lot of experience at each one of those. I'd like to tell you a little bit about that experience, if you don't mind, Steve.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. For the bulk of that experience was at LSI. I spent close to 10 years at LSI. So even though that was the most recent, I want to talk about that first, if you don't mind. And for folks who are not familiar with LSI, there were a couple of major transactions, M&A transactions related to LSI that I just want to let them know about. In 2014, LSI was acquired by Avago for about $6.6 billion. Subsequently, Avago has also bought out Broadcom, and now they're looking to buy out Brocade, and they've changed their name from Avago to Broadcom. But in continuing my discussion about my experience at LSI, during my first 3 years at LSI, from about 2004 to 2007, I performed a wide range of activities as an intellectual property counsel. Those activities included managing patent portfolios for LSI's consumer division, which included integrated circuits for DVD recording and other video applications, which was a lot of fun. And also, I worked on IC and assembly level packaging technologies and electronic design automation technologies, which are also referred to as EDA. The other key event that changed my career at LSI was when LSI purchased a gear back in 2007 for about $3.5 billion. I'm not sure that most people are familiar with the gear anymore since they got acquired in 2007. They've been out of existence for 10 years. But they spun off from Lucent, which spun off from AT&T. And back in the day, AT&T was a regulated monopoly, and the Justice Department said they had to license their technologies as a consequence of not wanting those technologies hung up with one company. They wanted them diffused throughout the technology community. And because of that dictate from the federal government, all these divisions of AT&T developed fantastic licensing programs. So I transitioned from being the in-house patent counsel, working on patent portfolio management, to doing licensing. And that was a great experience for me. It really broadened what I can offer as an attorney at Maiorana.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So were you with LSI before you came to work for Maiorana?
You bet. That was my last job before I came to Maiorana. Prior to that, I had worked at Siemens, and I worked both on ultrasound imaging and OLED patents. And before that, at Quantum was the hard disk drives. And at Lockheed Martin, there was an amazing array of technologies that I was exposed to. One of them, which was kind of interesting, was an autonomous star tracker. And that was, back around 1998, and it's still being cited as prior art today. So Lockheed's technologies have a lot of staying power.
Thanks, Henry. Henry Groth with the San Jose office of Maiorana PC can be reached at 408-890-6549.
Thanks for listening to Patent Podchat with Henry Groth of the Silicon Valley office of Maiorana PC. Join us again for another edition of Patent Podchat.